Brothers and sisters, my generals, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. Current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, thank you. I salute because there are many great brothers and sisters out here, and that's in our families and outside our families. Always remember that. There are righteous brothers and sisters out there. That great divine has put that compass in one's heart to see things like that, outside of the toxicity that goes on in this world from person, place, or thing, But we're going to focus on the righteous things of life because that's what gives life when we focus on the positive. And as you always know, I honor thy ancestors, those who fought through tooth and nail with every fiber of their body to get a lot of us in the state and the place that we are in forever. That's how I start off my day, brothers and sisters. And good morning and good afternoon and good evening, whatever time zone you're in, salute, and those that are righteously, spiritual, divinely connected in some way or another, we're in different parts of the world, but we're all connected to that same great divine God that's deep within our soul, because it starts within our soul, mind, body, and soul. If we're healthy, and it works our way out to the body and to whoever is connected to us that want to learn and want to grow and want to thrive and keep on building in this life, because that's what it's all about. We never stop building, We get to a level and keep on ascending, and we take those or we ride together, with everyone that's with us, that's been with us on this journey, because that's something we never forget. Those that have been on this journey with us, through all the ups and downs and agree to disagree and all that good stuff, and get right back on board and can continue this mission that a lot of us have been on for years, decades, and, a lot of times in our lives that a lot of time we have invested, in this here walk that we're on. And excuse me for a minute. Let me see, I had to see something here. Excuse me for a second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. It's had a little technical difficulty. That happens sometimes. All right. Yeah, as I was saying, let nothing deter us on this walk. And I want to get into talking about emotions. Harness our emotions and turn them into righteous weapons. I'm going to say that again. Harness our emotions and turn them into righteous weapons. Now, before I get into this, it's a process to focus on our emotions. It's not an easy thing. It takes practice. You have to learn yourself, look up things about oneself, whatever it is. Because when you look up one word, there'll be a definition or words in that definition that will lead to something else. And because the body is a learning thing, this brother or sister, young or old, it's an ongoing thing. You learn something new every day if you're willing to learn, if you're healthy, and you're seeking to have self-therapy, because it starts with oneself. We can sometimes get things from the outside to help us. Sometimes we have circumstances where we have no choice, where we have to kind of lean on something on the outside. And, let's make sure it's something we trust, person, place, or thing, something that cares about us, whatever it is on the outside. But it's always going to start within. It starts with a positive thought. And I like to throw in there, positivity don't help everything, but it sure helps, because coming through a challenge and dealing with mind, body, and soul, doing it negatively, a negative way, definitely is not going to help. So doing things like this, it's not always speaking, but just you don't even have to be around nobody to work on oneself. It's a beautiful thing, because when you do it, when you're not around people, and you have done it over time, it'll become second nature. I have a podcast about that, how when righteousness becomes second nature, but it takes studying, it takes paying attention to thyself and person, place, or thing, things that are around us, because it's good to isolate, but we don't want to get lost in that. We still want to have connections to those we care about, family, children, significant other, the things I always say, brothers and sisters that, that have helped us along the way and we have connected with. We keep those connections, even if they're from a distance. Keep them in our spirit. Something I always say, and you'll always hear me say, the family spirit deep within. I don't care what space we're in, We, all of us need solitude because we need to connect with those thoughts deep within to have reasoning, logic, figure out things. So, ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure, so that's why we have those moments to oneself and think. But I don't think it's good to isolate all the time. I think it's good for the mind, body, and soul to connect to our loved ones also, because we have to be able to teach others. Because no matter where we are in our lives, no matter how much serenity we have, as I talked about on the podcast, or solitude, we have to have human reaction too. It's a beautiful thing when we do have human contact, when it's something positive and not negative. Now, the negative things is what we have to deflect, but things that do try to enter one's psyche, in this brother, sister, young or old, especially if it's something you don't want in your psyche, work on that area, see where it came from. It might not even be our thoughts. Sometimes it's not even our thoughts. That's why it's so more, you hear a lot of us say, watch who we are connected to, the energy we are taking in, energy we are giving out. It is important. I know we hear energy, energy, energy. I know we hear that a lot, but when you're living it and you have experience, you've been living a peaceful life, and you know how every now and then you run into a person, place, or thing to try to shake that up. So when you have studied your emotions, you can deal with things as they come. So, and that leads me to this summary that I want to read about harnessing our emotions. And it took, like I say, as for me, as a lot of us, it was a process too. It takes work to stabilize one's emotions. It's not an easy thing, brothers and sisters. I tell you, it's not easy. But when we can do it, because all it takes is one good result. One good result, and then after that, you have many more. But all it takes is one good result of harnessing our emotions about something, person, place, or thing. We got to keep it broad. Treat life like a noun, brothers and sisters, and break it down. Real talk. So when we have studied one's emotions, and this could be, and we have to be honest with ourselves. Remember, that's another only way that we're going to be able to stabilize one's emotions is being honest with oneself. And this for me too now, I always say this for me too. Because some thoughts are ours and some thoughts are not. We have to deal with every thought that enters our psyche and see why we're getting it and where it's coming from. So that's how we clean things up and stay on this course. So if some of us feeling a thought of envy, or you think you might feel jealous, or you feel funny when you're around something or someone, figure that shit out. See where it's coming from so we can fix it, and we keep doing it. You got to stay consistent with it because this life can be tricky, in this time, a lot of things coming at us, at a lot of angles. So, you really have to be strategic. You have to be consistent on one's emotions and see where they're coming from and deal with it. Get to the base of it, get to the bottom of it, fix it, get back on board, as I always say, and stay teaching, So, like I say, any feeling, anger, jealousy, or discomfort, or, some kind of anxiety, see where it's coming from, study it, whatever area it is, pinpoint it, and just like I say, anger or whatever, and channel it into something positive is the point I'm getting to, I'm trying to make. Because, and do the opposite of what our human flesh would do. Like I say, all it takes is one result, I'm telling you. But we have to be willing to do it and not give in to that wrong emotion or that wrong impulse, and watch and study our instincts, especially about oneself. Because when we got ourselves in check, our instincts about oneself in check, then we'll be able to see instincts in other things that may be toxic. We won't get caught off guard or get caught up in misunderstandings and stuff like that. That's the main reason why we study one's emotions. Those misunderstandings, things we jump the gun on. I talk about them impulses. Impulses are very important. I think that's probably a pivotal point in stabilizing one's emotions. Not jumping off wrong impulses, because there is a such thing as righteous impulses, like say for instance, like making music or even speaking or any kind of gift. Because some brothers and sisters, whether young or old, we have some of us have gifts that we can do like right on the spot. Doesn't even take work. Some of us are gifted like that. But in some areas we do have to put, I mean, if we're good at it, we're love it, we can almost do it on the spot without even thinking about it. That I call that a divine natural gift. We can literally do it right on the spot, and it'd be good. Not everybody has that, but some of us do. But going back to stabilizing one's emotions, it takes practice. Like I say, all it takes is one result. So, but I went into the righteous impulse because I know we always hear about impulses are bad, but there is such thing as righteous impulses. That's why I said some of us have divinely natural gifts, so, and that's why a lot of things you see in the media, in the world, maybe some artists or celebs, and you have to take those moments to think oneself. You can't get around that jumping off wrong impulses and doing something because of a worldly thing or material thing or a sexually physical thing. The flesh is going to be wrong every time when you give into the flesh, especially if it's toxic and something wrong. You listen to that flesh, you're going to get in trouble every time. And this is why we study one's emotions: anger, jealousy, discomfort, depression, anxiety. Study that crap, and find something to channel it into positively. Positivity, if I say it right. Channel it into positive energy. Now, would this be easy all the time? No, but it's worth it, because trying to find a solution in a negative way, it's never going to work. So positivity can't help or fix or cure everything, but it's definitely a good place to start. I'll say that from time to time. Now, like I go back to channeling our anger or whatever we feel and turn it into a righteous weapon, and I'm telling you, because one thing that the devil, that will make the devil flee is when a brother or a sister, and this could be in our families, outside our families, young, old, doesn't matter. It's when a brother and sister is in control of their emotion and they stand for straight truth about oneself, person, place, or thing, family, and children. The devil has no weapon against that. When one has control of 100% control of one's emotions. Again, brothers and sisters, all it takes is one result. So I want to read this summary, and it's about harnessing, whatever we feel into something positive. Like, I'll give an example, like music. I was going to say this a few minutes ago and I didn't finish. Music. Now, I'm good at speaking, as I said before, but I have to say I express myself better through music, because when I do music, I really let it go. Everything I feel, it comes out, whether it's cursing or something bad. I'm honest with it, and I really express myself really well through music. So whatever I'm dealing with in my life, or challenges, or something that might be trying to get into my psyche, a lot of us deal with this in many ways, and music can be a good tool, but as long as you don't use it to, hurt oneself or hurt nobody else, just to express. So that's what I mean about harnessing different emotions we get about things and putting it into something beautiful, like music, because music can be very, very therapeutic if you use it right, and it's not always got to be about reaching someone or getting 1,000 listeners. It's about, expressing oneself and getting out what we got within, because it's never good to harbor wrong shit deep within. That's many of us righteous brothers and sisters, my righteous teachers out there in our families, outside our families. Like we always say, never harbor nothing deep within that's not good for the psyche, because it will fester and come out later. So that brings me back to, that's why we study one's emotions. And I want to read this summary about harnessing emotions we get and turning it into righteous weapons. All right. If you harness something, whatever emotion we get, if we harness something such as an emotion or a natural source of energy, you bring it under your control and use it, man. Yep. We need to find We need to find new ways of harnessing the enthusiasm and commitment. Man, we gotta that's why I say we have to do things on purpose. We have to, things that we would normally do the opposite, And I was having a conversation with some coworkers at work a couple of days ago, and I was telling them about, maybe so-called enemies, quotation marks, I maybe had in the past, that I actually turned enemies that I had. I wouldn't really call them enemies, because I think about it now, just stupid shit, when you do when you're young. But I've actually turned, maybe people that didn't like me in the past, enemies, whatever you want to call them, I turned them into friends. And a lot of them, we're best friends to this day. It's all about the energy. It's all about the perception we have of oneself, person, place, or thing. I'm telling you, it's all about having that righteous energy. Again, I know we hear energy, 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 but if you experience it and you actually use it to the benefit of life for oneself and others, you will see some amazing changes come about. But you have to be consistent, because everything's not going to be easy. Things will catch you. Well, if you study long enough, not too many things will catch you off the left. But every now and then, something to try to creep in to our psyche, because, that's just the way of the world. That's just life, but that's why we study, and we'll learn over time how to stabilize our emotions and different things we feel, and channel them into something valuable, something beneficial, man, and turn it into a righteous weapon, man. Harness our emotions, whatever emotions that is. Anger, envy, like I said, jealousy. See where that shit's coming from. We only human. We're gonna feel different things, whatever word we put on it. That's, like I say, when we're honest with ourselves, that's when the journey has definitely begun, and you begin to change oneself, and it's a righteous ripple effect, And I wanted to speak on my son. I just uploaded a father and son podcast. I did it before, but I took it down. But I had to put it back up, because that's memories. You know what I'm saying? And me and him, we're learning to stabilize one's emotions, because we haven't had the best relationship and been through some things. It was some years I didn't, and I'm talking about Lord Lamont, my son, and it was a long time we didn't see each other. So that experience in itself taught both of us how to stabilize one's emotions, because it's that, like, we now understand life, where it went and how it is, and it just made us the men we are today, my son and I. Lord Lamont, and he's doing well. He just got him a place, and he sent me some pictures, and it's really nice, and I told him I'm happy for him. It's progress, small progress lead to big progress. You just gotta stay with it and have that conquering spirit, not conquering while you're trying to conquer nobody, but conquering oneself. And then, man, we can set out and conquer the world in a righteous way. I'm talking about helping, conquering wrong thoughts, and conquering, old habits, and stepping into the new, and, doing the opposite of what, like I said, like our flesh wants to do. Never listen to that freaking flesh. You hear me say that sometimes. The flesh is not shit. When we stabilize our emotions, man, one can be the most powerful brother and sister in the world. I'm telling you, when you can not do what your flesh wants to do, don't give in to that damn flesh. Because I'm telling you, your flesh can lead to your own demise. And that can be mentally, physically, and the good old spiritual. I'm telling you, it's all up to us how we are willing to go deeper into oneself, to learn about oneself. And then we're seeking knowledge, and other things will come along, that we need to learn, because we never know everything, But if we stay learning, stay looking, seeking, stay in that righteous realm, some wonderful things will come about. And that great divine will be right along with us. But the great divine never leaves us anyway. That's why I don't know why people always say they're waiting on God. No, God waiting on us, the real God. So we need to stop saying that. God has always been with us, just sitting back looking at us. We just got to get on board and see, open up that third eye, so harness any emotion we get. Because I've said before, like I say, one wrong choice, man, one wrong toxic choice in this life, man, especially if it's toxic and bad and evil, fuck up your whole life. So just be the rightest brother and sister as we possibly can. And everything else will ultimately fall in place. Some sooner, some later. But I'm telling you, there's facts in the law of attraction if you have lived it, if you have seen things come to pass, which I have. I'm sure a lot of my family have, a lot of brothers and sisters I've met. We've seen great things come to pass when we just being an upright brother and sister. And again, it's not always a deep spiritual thing. Great divine just want us to have a right heart, and study and do things on purpose. We don't have to wait for things. The time is now. We on divine time, not man's time, not our time. We're on Father's time. Be grateful if you may be up in levels of self-awareness or age, but you still look young. That's because you have a positive heart. Positive energy is good for the immune system. Look it up. Keeps you looking young. Just look at some of the righteous brothers and sisters out here. Look how young they look. Because they have harnessed their emotions into wonderful, great things in their life. So that's what happens when you work on great things within. Your physical life will show it. It will show that fruit that we have been bearing. So again, I say harness one's emotions and turn them into righteous weapons. So that's my thought. And I want to read that summary one more time. If you harness something, any kind of feeling we get, natural source of energy, bring it under your control, man, and use it for the benefit of oneself and anybody that's in your circle. I'm telling you, and it will come back full circle over and over again. It's lovely, but we got to stay with it. Things not always going to be easy, remember, and we can't live in a false sense of reality. That's why we work on stabilizing one's emotions so we won't get thrown off by things we see, hear, or feel. Those 7 senses I talk about: mind, body, and soul, see, hear, and feel. And what is the pit of all that? The psyche. Remember, brothers and sisters, the psyche is the grand central of the whole body. So if you don't got your psyche together, your life gonna be chaos. Real talk. I'm talking about if you're healthy, mind, body, and soul. If you don't have that psyche in check and you just let anything enter, any kind of thought, and you're not trying to fix it or anything, that's just makes for chaos. Real talk. So that's why we study and harness one's emotions and turn them into righteous weapons. So that's my thought. And that was something that was in my spirit. And as you can see on my banner here, and thank those that's been listening. I appreciate you. Remember, we are leaders and teachers. We are not followers. We're the student spirit, changing that damn narrative. So thank those that's been riding along. Current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, I thank you and I salute, as well as my family. And just as on my banner here, that's actually hieroglyphics in the background. You probably can't see it that good, see it better on the thumbnail. But this is like my favorite banner and thumbnail because, I'm a black man. I'm connected to Africa. I'm always be connected to my righteous African brothers and sisters, and I'm proud of that, and that's why I always say at the beginning of my podcast, I thank my ancestors. So this is this banner here in my thumbnail is a tribute to them. So like I said, it's one of my favorite banners. That's what I got on my my cover on my channel here. That's what's on my cover. It's one of my favorites. That's why I got it up there. It's a tribute to all the great ancestors, man, that fought hard to get many of us in that great, divine, powerful space that a lot of melanated brothers and sisters are in right now, as well as myself. And I thank them for the sacrifice that they gave to get a brother to where I am, and many other brothers and sisters, as well as my family. And again, brothers and sisters, pinpoint every emotion, every thought that we get, and stabilize our emotions. Because remember, we never know what that great divine has lying ahead. So thank those that's been listening. I just want to encourage and put some things into your spirit to give you a great day, great year, and a great decade. Because we gonna look above and beyond and keep it moving and stay the generals that we are. Generals I've met, and that's in the world, online, and in my family. We got some generals out there that are stabilizing their emotions. That's why they're at where they're at now today, because we learned to do that. So I honor my family. Salute. I honor your family. I honor my children their mothers, brothers, and sisters all over the world. May you please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are, right now. And I mean that. And again, study those thoughts. Pay attention to that psyche. Don't let, because this world is getting sneaky. So that's why we pay attention to one's emotions. And remember, turn them into righteous weapons. Salute.